I don't think I have to write an intro for this video. It's the new Minecraft Championship teams, and I'll rank them based on math. If you need a refresher on how I make these teams, click the info card on screen for a previous MCC video I did. However, I did make one change to how I rank the teams. Instead of just ignoring players you haven't played before, I estimate what I think the average points per game for the player would be. For example, if Speed Silver joined the tournament, I'd estimate his average points per game to be 2500. If Mizkif joined the tournament, I'd estimate his average points per game to be 1000, etc. This is to try and prevent situations where I had to rank Puns and Illumina's team in 9th. Also, to make it more clear which average points per game are estimates, I put the estimates in italics, although Ludwig's the only new player this game. Now let's get on with the video. The team I think will get last is the Sapphire Simmers. This team consists of Vixelia, Cryptic Zeus, Dr. Gluon, and James Turner. Their best player is Cryptic Zeus and their worst player is Vixelia. They average 1045 points per player. I think this is a pretty obvious pick for last. Not only have they haven't played in 3 games, they also never do very well. The team I think will get 9th place is the Yellow Yetis. This team consists of H-Bomb, Smallish Beans, Sylvie, and the Oregon Sound. Their best player is H-Bomb and their worst player is Sylvie. This team averages 1836 points per player. Last ranking, I said that H-Bomb's previous team with himself, Fundy, Arid, and Carl was made to ensure he would not win. However, H-Bomb got scarily close to winning with that team, so now I think S-Major put him on an even worse team to make sure he doesn't win. I don't think this is that controversial, so that is all I will say about this team. The next team I have is the Mint Mistletoes, which consists of Fruit Berries, George Not Found, Carl, and Ludwig. Their best player is Fruit and their worst player is Carl. They average 2002 points per player. This team might seem good considering Fruit is a top 5 player, and George is coming off back-to-back wins. But you also have to understand Carl and Ludwig are not very good at Minecraft. This is Ludwig's first MCC, and even if it wasn't, I doubt he would get very many points. Carl has only played once, and although his team won, he only got 1300 points. If Carl can only get 1300 points with the winning team, then I do not have a lot of confidence in him or the rest of this team. In 7th place, we have the Emerald Elves, with Finster, CPK, Tommynet, and Tubbo. Their best player is Tommy and their worst player is Finster. They average 2083 points per player. I doubt this team is going to try, so even though they have decent players, I'm not going to move them up. Even if they did try, Tubbo and CPK are not the A-tier players some people think they are, which is why I think this team won't do very well. Moving on to number 6, we have the Cyan Candy Canes. This team consists of Fundy, Filza, Quackity, and Wilbur. Their best player is Fundy and their worst player is Quackity. They average 2169 points per player. This team is similar to a team a few MCCs ago, only instead of Filza they had Tommy. That team got 3rd, and you might be wondering why I'm putting this team so low, despite having better players than that 3rd place team. The reason I put them so low is that while this is still a good team, there are just objectively much better teams this tournament than that tournament, and we'll get to that in a bit. Starting off with the top half of the teams, we have the Red Reindeer. This team consists of Catherine Elizabeth, LD Shadow Lady, Mephs, and Quig. Their best player is Quig and their worst player is Catherine. They average 2180 points per player. Now, I don't think this team will win at all, but I do think this team will do relatively decent. Quig and Mephs are pretty good players, and I think they can be good enough to carry Catherine and LD Shadow Lady if they are falling behind. However, I still think that the 4 teams above it are much more balanced than this team, which will probably hurt the Red Reindeer in the tournament. In 4th place, I put the Teal Turkeys. This team consists of Arid, Illumina, Krinios, and Puns. Their best player is Krinios and their worst player is Arid. They average 2234 points per player. This team is pretty much 3 B-tier players with just 1 not-so-good player. However, I ranked them this high because I think Puns and Illumina have the potential to grow into better top-tier players. They both have only played once before, and with an objectively better team, I think they have the potential to shine. The team I think will get 3rd is the Purple Penguins. This team consists of False Symmetry, Grian, Carl Corvus, and Pizza Hut. Their best player is Pete and their worst player is False Symmetry. They average 2308 points per player. Once again, Pete has put on a team that's players are just bad enough that no one is complaining their team is too overpowered, but just good enough that they have the chance to win. It is brilliant how S-Major can virtually make the same team over and over again, and no one realizes it. I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th time I put Pete's team in 3rd. I don't think that is too controversial. The team I think will get 2nd and move on to Dodgebolt is the Carol Carolers. This team consists of DanTDM, Kratzy, Sapnap, and Wisp. Their best player is Sapnap and their worst player is DanTDM. They average 2,340 points per player. This team is really good. DanTDM, who is their worst player, averages around 1,850 points per game, which is actually quite a lot for the worst player to average. I also think Wisp has a lot of room to improve, especially now that he is on a team that takes the game seriously. Sapnap and Kratzy are also pretty good players. Overall, this is a solid team. Before we get into number 1, I have a special announcement from the 2018 mystery comedy film Holmes and Watson. According to Holmes and Watson, only 2.8% of people who watch my videos are subscribed. That is one of the smallest numbers of all time. To make that number bigger and boost my ego, please subscribe to my channel. I am trying to hit 300 subscribers by the time this video comes out, so please subscribe. Anyway, the team I think will get the most points is the Pink Presence. Big surprise. This team consists of Captain Sparkles, S Major, Dream, and Shovel. Their best player is... wait, hold on. It's Dream. Dream is their best player. Their worst player is Shovel. They average 2,478 points per player. People have been saying this is the best team ever in MCC, but compared to the other teams in this single tournament, I think that they aren't necessarily a shoo-in for first. I remember I have had previous teams ranked number 1 that had 200 to 300 points above the team in second. However, this team is only about 120 points ahead of the team in second, and the team is only 30 points ahead of the team in third. I think that some of the teams this tournament are just really overpowered. And although I think this team will get the most points, I don't think it is 100% likely. Also, this is the 4th time I have put Dream's team in first. Now for Dodgebolt. Usually for Dodgebolt I try to do some dumb math where I find how many times each player has won Dodgebolt, and whoever team has won it the most I say will win. However, this time I'm going off of common sense. If you mean to tell me that MCSG legend Purple Dino can't beat a few SMP players in a PvP game mode, I don't know what to tell you. What I mean to say is that I think the Coral Carolers would probably win Dodgebolt. Not just against Dream's team, but against any team in this tournament. Not only do they have former MCSG legend Purple Dino, more commonly known as Kratzy, but they also have a Hypixel UHC player as well, Wisp. Sapnap is alright at PvP too. While DanTDM isn't the best, he can certainly play off the other better players in his team. So those are my thoughts on MC Championship 13. I think that the Pink Parrots and Coral Carolers will make Dodgebolt, and then the Coral Carolers will win. If you want to see more Minecraft tournament analysis like this one, then you should subscribe to the channel, as I make them for every MCC and Minecraft Ultimate. I also make other videos like this one on screen, where I talk about the revolutionary subject that no one has ever thought about, dream stands. Anyway, make sure you like the video if you liked it, comment Wombat if you made it this far, and I will see you in the next video.